Morning, gentlemen. Jim Tracy, Land Use Council for Federal Materials and Thorndike Resources. Please see last week's videotape for any compliments to the board. I don't have any this morning. I omitted, because of time last week in my comments, to endorse Tom Tiersch's comments to you about your new agenda process. I commended to adopt them as my own. I also brought to your attention last week hate mail, which you felt it necessary to include in the official correspondence packet, somehow relevant to the business of Jefferson County. I'm still trying to get my arms around that one. Please notice in this morning's packet, more than 95 pages of irrelevant material from an individual named Audrey, A-U-D-R-E-Y, at Oldie Pen. I have no idea who this individual is, but I got a little bored paging through the pictures of the colored pictures of polar bears in the agenda. Gentlemen, you need some kind of protocol for this activity. Otherwise, you're inviting people to inundate you with thousands of pages of material that supposedly you're supposed to be copying for your agenda. Regardless of its relevance, its constitutional acceptability, or any other factor related to your business. Let's do something about this. It's time. I talked to you last week, chapter 1, about the artful lying that's taking place on the Foot Canal Coalition website. And the reason this comes to our attention, of course, is because the website has recently been updated after a year of activity, so we're now taking on some of the exaggerations and lies that are in the content. The first item I brought to your attention was the fact that you, gentlemen, are being used as a fundraising tool for this Foot Canal Coalition. And I asked you to do something about it. I explained the reasons in last week's videotape. Like my letter about the protocol, that comment has not yet been responded to by the board. But today's chapter is half-truths which will result in lies. You'll notice on the opening page of the Foot Canal Coalition, the headline is the Port Angeles newspapers, whose name has just escaped me, the PDN's headline, Court approves Fred Hill materials, etc., regarding the MRL, alleging that the court has somehow approved an expansion of Fred Hill materials mining by the MRL decision. Now, the newspaper made a mistake. I'm not talking here about the newspaper. I'm talking about Mr. Fabian knowingly using a newspaper mistake to mislead the public. The court specifically rejected, both at the Superior Court and the Appellate Court level, the notion that the MRL represented an expansion of Fred Hill materials mining. But in the same way that Mr. Fabian alleged that Fred Hill was the fourth largest polluter when we acquired Blake Sand and Gravel and Swim, and then failed to print a retraction when that company was cleaned up and taken off the list. My time is up. See you next week for Chapter 3.